I'm back. And better than ever. Yeah, I'm in Eric Bischoff. This is like the beginning of Eric Bischoff's WWE theme. But yeah, I'm back with another video game review. And the long-awaited WWE 12 review. Last time I did a video game review was 2K22, which was actually a good game. Anyways, let's get on to this game. It came out in 2011, like near the end of it. It came out in November, because, yeah. And this was like, I had to follow up the SmackDown vs. Raw trilogy, which I already did that last year, and, no, actually, my bad. I did the TNA video game, Impact game review. My bad. Not 2K22. My apologies. Now, the controls, the gameplay is not bad, but, and yeah. The controls are actually different this time around. You know, instead of, the analog sticks to do grapples, it's back to the face buttons. Like X is your grapple button. Square, triangle, and circle are the same buttons, like for striking, finisher, and Irish whip and pinning. There's a new submission move, which is called the breaking point submission, and all the match types are basically there, like Inferno match, Hell in a Cell, basically those the same match types. The store the creations, there's a new created arena, which is kind of bare bones compared to 13, and but it's actually cool when you get to create your own arena, so that's made the game like more fun to play. But yeah, um, and there are some unlockable wrestlers like Brock Lesnar, which this is his first game appearance since Here Comes the Pain, which we'll get to that probably someday. Um, if you wanted to lock in, we have to win the first match in the universe mode. Um, which is kind of funny because Brock Lesnar made his return the night after WrestleMania 28, so this game foreshadowed his actual return to WWE. So yeah, universe mode is actually different. Well, it's basically the same, but it's a little different because you can now fully customize your shows and basically everything. You can change like who's face and heel, which is the same thing basically. The championships look really good, right? And graphics are really good also. And I'm not gonna make fun of The Rock in this game because he actually does look good in this game compared to the next gen until 2K22, where they finally got The Rock's face right. But yeah. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes, the road to WrestleMania. Now they say there's three different storylines. It's basically in one big story because the first chapter is the villain storyline, which you are playing as Sheamus, where you beat up John Cena and you want to go after his World Heavyweight Championship, but then instead you have to be teaming up on Team Raw. And Sheamus says, "What's the meaning of me being part of Team Raw?" And said, "I won't care less. All I want is a World Heavyweight Championship match against John Cena at bragging rights." And then you get interrupted by The Miz, Jack Swagger, and Wade Barrett, which we'll get to Mr. Barrett in a minute. Anyway, Sheamus beat them all up, and then you, Drew McIntyre, and William Regal face Barrett, the same three guys, like Barrett, Miz, and Swagger. And yeah, Miz and Swagger does not take Wade Barrett's tag, and they pay the prize, and then your team wins. And then of course we gotta get to the bragging rights show, where basically Triple H says the winning team will get future world title shots and future title shots. And yeah, now we get to the bragging rights event, and basically you're controlling a Team Raw, but yeah, Big Show takes out most of your team. Take out Mark Henry, and then William Regal with Del Rio, and but then he gets eliminated by you, which is basically Triple H, McIntyre, and Sheamus, who are the only three left in the ring. And then they did an Eddie Guerrero spot where Miz threw Orton a chair with the referee, which is Charles Robinson, by the way, in this game. Orton gets caught and gets disqualified, and then Miz eliminates Triple H, which we'll get to them in a minute, or after the villain storyline. Then McIntyre comes out of nowhere and eliminates Miz, and Mysterio eliminates McIntyre, and then you and Barrett beat up your teammates from the opposite brands, Edge and Swagger, and you, which is Sheamus, Barrett, McIntyre, and Rio left the ring, and this forms the United Kingdom, which is there. That's what basically was called, but not until Survivor Series, and which just led to you four against Big Show, Edge, Alberto Del Rio, and Jack Swagger, which is why am I using quotations? Because there's no 4-on-4 matches. Not until like 2K18. Yeah. Yeah, I think 2K18 was the first one to have 8 people in the ring. But anyways, then it leads to a brawl between Sheamus and Edge, which is you, basically. But then it leads to you find Swagger and Del Rio, and yeah, and then Edge spear Sheamus in the CS Survivor Series if you can make it. And yeah, and then you beat up, and then you attack Big Show in a parking lot, and then led to Survivor Series, which is basically 3-on-3, basically. But then when Big Show came out, and then it comes 3-on-2, I guess, and then it comes between Sheamus and Edge, and then you win basically. But if there's like a triangle on the top, you have to continue on to the next match. But if sometimes there's not gonna be one. But anyway, Sheamus gets the world title shot against John Cena at TLC, but then you win the United States title the following night, and then the next week you retire it, and then brought back the European Championship. But anyways, you beat John Cena at TLC to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And then Arn Anderson comes in to spoil the party. And then basically there's going to be a rematch between Sheamus and Cena at the Rumble, where he's the special enforcer, which, yeah, Arn Anderson will turn on Cena and help you beat Sheamus. Helps you beat John Cena. And then the self-destructive United Kingdom begun at the Elimination Chamber path, and then where Barrett accidentally helped Miz beat McIntyre to qualify for the Elimination Chamber, but then Sheamus, McIntyre and Regal beat up Del Rio, and then you have McIntyre take his spot, and then Barrett gets kicked out of the group, but then at the end of the Elimination Championship, Barrett had helped McIntyre win the World Heavyweight Championship, and then led to a For All the Gold match between all the members of the United Kingdom, former members of the United Kingdom, and it leads to that match, which you eliminate Regal first, and then McIntyre, and then you came between you and Barrett, and then Sheamus won all the belts, and then Triple H, who won the Rumble, gets the WWE Championship match anyways, and then you're now Triple H in the second chapter of this Road to WrestleMania called The Outsider Story, in which you win basically as Triple H, and yeah, and this led to a storyline between you and The Miz, where it begins the King of the Ring tournament, and then you come down to between you and The Miz in a cage, and then you get taken out for 11 months, and then returned at WrestleMania between Orton and Miz in a tables match of all matches. Anyways, you cost Miz the championship, and then pedigree Orton, and then you're on SmackDown for some reason, and want to become a WWE champion again. Wants to become a 17 world champion. trying to break the record. You fail at Extreme Rules, and then Miz becomes the GM of SmackDown, rides in a wheelchair, and then Kane becomes a new member of the Misfit, basically a carbon copy of WCW's group called the Misfits in Action. Anyways, you get another shot at Randy Orton at the Over the Limit pay-per-view, where you lost by disqualification because of interference, and then led to Fatal 4-Way. Why that pay-per-view? Where you lost again in a Fatal 4-Way cage match between you, Edge, Kane, and Orton, the champion, where R-Truth and Edge joined forces with The Miz. And then Money in the Bank comes, and you're in the ladder match, and then Miz costs you the championship, and then he reveals himself he's not injured, helping R-Truth win. And then led to SummerSlam, where it's going to be a Fatal 4-Way match. But not just any Fatal 4-Way match, it's a last man standing Fatal 4-Way match. With eliminations. Yeah, is this Day of Reckoning or Day of Reckoning 2 or something? But yeah, you win the match, finally. You win the WWE Championship, and then you quote, quote, retire, but we'll get to that when the Hero storyline, which is your career wrestler called Jacob Cass. And the first part of it is just you fighting with Barrett, Husky Harris, who will become Bray Wyatt, and then The Fiend, and then Justin Gabriel for some reason. And then led to Survivor Series, where Team Mysterio fought Team Barrett, where your team wins, and then Kevin Nash is the GM of Raw and SmackDown, and then led to a WCW storyline, which led to an invasion. Hey, at least they'd have Nash, Arn Anderson, Booker T, Vader, Animal, and I think that's who were in that, yeah. And then led to the Rumble, where John Cena had to vacate the World Heavyweight Championship, and the championship had to be up in the Rumble match, and then Big Show and Cody Rhodes turned on WWE to join WCW, which it kind of makes sense because Big Show was the giant WCW, and Cody Rhodes, his father, Dusty Rhodes, was synonymous with WCW also. Big Show wins the World Heavyweight Championship, and then he spray painted WCW on the belt. Then they took out the Undertaker, and then the WWE Championship becomes vacated. Where you have to qualify, and then you win, and then Triple H told Nash, you're out as GM, and then I'm in SGM. So at Elimination Chamber, Rey Mysterio becomes the secret man in the match, but he turns on you and joins WCW. Rey Mysterio will, I don't think, ever turn heel in WWE, but and then they did the finger poke of Doom spot, but yeah, and then they spray painted WCW on the WWE Championship, and then Rey said, trust this, and then he hits you with the WWE Championship. And then let's do a Wrestlemania match between your character and Triple H face Kevin Nash and Rey Mysterio for control of Monday Night Raw. And the shocking part is you lose that match. And then the return of Monday Nitro happens for... Yeah, you really think that was it, right? No, the story continues. It's led to a War Games style match in a Hell in a Cell match at the Starrcade. And this had one of the most annoying backstage fights ever. There's a lot of backstage brawls in the game. And they're so annoying. And it comes down between you, Triple H, Sheamus, John Cena, Undertaker, and Vince McMahon. Yes. Against Nash, Big Show, Rey Mysterio, Animal, Vader, and Booker T. And your team wins. And it's elimination, pinfall submission. And it came down between you and Nash. And they fought on top, and you both fought on top of the cell, and they go through it, and your team wins, and Monday Night Raw returns. Yeah, that's basically the road to WrestleMania, and this is the last time we see this. Yeah, it was a good story mode, but the biggest nitpick I have were the backstage brawls. In there, basically, when you fight Cody Rhodes and Booker T in the parking garage, that was annoying. Or any other like those handicap ones are so annoying when you're the one against the all. But this game overall, it was okay at best. I give it a 6 out of 10 because the annoying backstage fights in the Road to WrestleMania, and it's a longer story because of it. Um, Universe mode is decent, but the rest of the game is just okay at best. Next game I'm gonna talk about, I don't know what game I'm gonna talk about. I don't know. I'll think about it sooner. Thank you for watching. I'm back, and I'll be back with my 2008 year in review, and I'll do 2 Backlash reviews also. Bye.